and welcome everybody to today's edition of México News Network's Breaking News. I'm your host, Zafiro Fierro. Remember to follow us on all of our social networks and to catch us every day by logging on to our website, MexicoNewsNetwork.com, for relevant stories and news. Let's begin with today's show. There are tight bones that strengthen the bilateral relationship between Mexico and the United States, and one of them is proximity. For many years, cities along the American border have taken advantage of its location and the parity of the U.S. dollar against the Mexican peso. But in the last months, this situation has brought an interesting boom in the local economy. While in the rest of Mexico, people are worried about the elevated prices of the dollar, in the frontier, Mexicans are celebrating. But why, you ask? Because due to this situation, more American citizens cross the border to spend their money in our country. This is a funny change because for many years, Mexicans used to cross to shop at stores in California, Arizona, New Mexico, or Texas. But now the situation is the opposite. The Mexican coin has fallen 44%, causing an appearance of the superdollar and the rise on the crossing from the United States to Mexico from 2.1 to 2.5 million in the first quarter of this year. But what do American citizens buy in Mexico? Many of them cross the border to acquire medicines, canned products such as tuna, sauces or chilies, and medical services, among others. These acquisitions are really profitable as the prices can decrease as much as 50% of the U.S. price. Meanwhile, on the other side of the border, the story is different because the number of Mexicans that shop in American convenience stores has fallen. For example, in San Diego, California, where the consumption decreased by 40%. In other headlines, this year marks the dual year Mexico-Germany, and as part of it, and for the period of 2016-2020, 7 companies from Germany pledged investments of approximately $3,800 million, an amount that represents 62% of total foreign direct investment from the European country in the last year. ThyssenKrupp, Grünenthal, BMW, Bosch, Daimler, Kronberger and Schubert, plus the Volkswagen Group are the 7 German companies developing plants or buying businesses in Mexico with the vision to export to key markets like the U.S. and the rest of the nations of Latin America. BMW will invest $1 million between 2016 and 2019 to build a car assembly plant in San Luis Potosí in order to service the U.S., European, and Latin American markets. In addition, Bosch will invest $100 million over the next 2 years to expand production of brakes ABS. Grünenthal Pharmaceutical bought Almirall for $34 million, and with this, it looks to grow in the production of drugs for common ailments. Daimler, in partnership with Nissan, will invest $1,300 million between 2016 and 2018 for the construction of luxury models of Mercedes-Benz and Infiniti brands in Aguascalientes. On the other hand, ThyssenKrupp, the company dedicated to the manufacture of automotive parts, will invest $284 million in order to increase its manufacturing of axles and other parts for vehicle assembly in Mexico and the United States. Finally, Kronberger and Schubert will make an investment of $65 million over 2 years for an automotive parts plant in Guanajuato, and the Volkswagen Group will invest $1 billion this year for the production of its new Tiguan SUV in the Puebla plant. Moving on, Audi, the German brand of luxury cars, plans to open a plant that will produce the electric version of its Q5 model in Mexico. On September 30th, the factory will open in San Jose, Chiapas, in the Mexican state of Puebla, and it will be the first installation of premium cars in the country, with an investment of $300 million. Audi plans to produce the Q5 SUV that uses gasoline, but also plans to introduce the electric version in short term for its sales in international markets. Currently, the conventional Q5 is manufactured in Ingolstadt, Germany, for global export and is also produced in China and India, only for local sales, however. This is one of the company's best-sold models worldwide. The company is currently training the staff, so the factory in Mexico will have an initial yearly production capacity of 150,000 units. It is noteworthy that the first electric SUV of Audi was unveiled at the Frankfurt Auto Show last year, and production will begin in 2018 at the auto plant in Brussels, Belgium. In other news, integrating immigration reform, punishing actions towards drugs, and no walls are some of the main promises inside the Hillary Clinton agenda, candidate for the President of the United States of America. Clinton, of the Democratic Party, has a twist on her campaign against the counterpart Donald Trump. She doesn't seek to build walls nor sever commercial ties with Mexico, let alone try to deport 11 million Mexicans without a visa. On the contrary. In her campaign, Hillary Clinton has promised to pass a new law called Integrating Immigration Reform. Though a bit weird sounding, it means that the high number of immigrants coming into the U.S., a lot of them with families and living in the country for many years now, will get a chance to earn their green card, thus attributing them as an essential part of the U.S. economy. Different specialists consider this movement will allow them to keep a proper relationship with Mexico, to prioritize a residency to millions of Mexicans that have lived there for years is a smart move for them. Pretty much taking over what the Obama administration had planned on doing years ago. Part of her plan as president will be to keep boosting the Mérida Initiative, international safety treaty established by the United States in conjunction with Mexico and countries in Central America to fight against drug cartels and organized crime, which keeps a current punishing scheme against drug-related operations. Also, part of her plan is to keep legalizing marijuana in more states that'll prevent violence provoked by illegal transactions and a better gun control in the country. In short, the possible victory of Clinton could mean overall intact business deals with Mexico, an attempt to eliminate immigration issues with a new law that will ease green card requirements for Latin Americans, and a more direct approach against drug cartels. All will be decided on November 8th when the country chooses their new leader that will be for 4 to 8 years. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Zafiro Fierro. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.